Today, I want to share with you the ways that I reduce stress while scaling a huge real estate portfolio. So, for those of you who don't know, I own 90 units of real estate, five single family homes, two apartment complexes in Oklahoma. One's a 26 unit, one's a 20 unit, and I own a 200 lot mobile home park. So, I bought my two apartment complexes, my mobile home park in 2021 during COVID when interest rates were low, and I scaled rapidly. I bought 80 units in 8 months, and all my deals were value add real estate, right? So my 26 unit, 20 unit, and mobile home park all required renovation. Each had different property managers, each had different general contractors, and I had to renovate at least 50 to 60 units in about 12 to 18 months. So I was very busy, very stressed. And keep in mind, I'm working full time W 2, so I work 40 hours a day. I have a 2 hour commute every day, and I was renovating my real estate on the side. So, as you can imagine, it gets very stressful. It costs a lot of money. And I probably went through the most stressful time period in my life from March of 2023 all the way up to June of 2023. And during that time window, I felt depressed. I had low energy, low mood, no motivation. Like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I buying real estate? Why am I putting myself through the stress? Why am I grinding? Why do I feel alone? Like, I just felt like very empty, depressed. I hit rock bottom, like emotionally, spiritually, physically, mentally. My body felt tired, couldn't move, had a hard time waking up, right? So for me, what caused the most stress was when I was trying to sell my mobile home park. I was working with a buyer who wasn't that great. He was very flaky. He ended up flaking on me on the day of closing. And, that park was bleeding money every month. So this is the first time in my entire life that I had financial stress. And, financial stress isn't fun, right? I've never experienced it. I was fortunate to grow up, middle class. So, we didn't have a lot of money, but we didn't struggle either. And when I came out as a pharmacist, I made good money as a W 2. I had student loans, but I had made good money and I was able to pay off my student loans and able to have money to do things for me. So I never really had financial stress until I bought 80 units in 8 months. And, you're allocating money towards each renovation and you have a planned amount that you allocate, but everything takes longer, costs more money, and doesn't go according to plan, right? So during the time, I remember it was June 15th. That's when my mobile home park was supposed to close. The buyer backed out in the last minute, and I was like super stressed. I didn't know what I was going to do. Like, I felt hopeless, hit rock bottom. I just said, you know what? I need to change my routine. I need to find ways to reduce stress. I need to better myself, right? Because this is when I'm tested. When you're tested, you hit rock bottom. This is when you need to improve and step back up, right? It's just like, it's not how many punches you can take or how hard you can punch, is how many punches you can take, right? So if you get punched, are you able to stand back up to get punched again? Like that's what determines success versus no success. So for me, during this time period, one thing that I let go was my physical health, right? I used to go to the gym consistently, 3 to 4 times a week. And that's something I let go because I felt like I was too busy. I had low energy, and I just said, you know what, something needs to give up, and I gave up exercising. But what I learned was exercising was how I dealt with my stress. Right, exercising helped me relieve stress, helped clear my mind, turn off my brain. And then when you work out, it actually gives you more energy. So you want to conquer your day, you want to tackle the problems, and you're more optimistic when problems are thrown at you. Right, there's a lot of science and literature and research that supports that exercise is the best thing that you can do for your brain, right? Like, if you exercise consistently and get your heart rate up, combination of lifting weights and doing light cardio, but the key is just to get in the gym and not beat myself up that, like, I used to lift heavier, like, oh, I used to bench like 180, I can only bench 150 now, and I was giving myself a hard time. But I reframed myself to say, you know what, Steven, the key is just to get in the gym, right? Like, don't beat yourself up. If you feel tired, if you feel shitty, the fact that you showed up, you won. You're here not to build muscle, you're here to reduce stress. It's a different goal, different objective, right? So I made it a habit of going to the gym. And how do I remove barriers, right? Like, I have um, some dumbbells and a bench in my apartment complex that I live in. So if I'm too tired, too lazy, I just can pump out a couple sets. I have a gym in my apartment complex that I can go to. It's pretty close. And then, I live by the beach, so I can go for like some beach walks with my girlfriend. So for me, I had a hard time going to my apartment gym, even though it's literally at the bottom, 7 floors down. But once I took out my dumbbells and left it in the middle of my apartment complex, I see it every day. And it serves as a reminder to like, hey, maybe I can work out, or maybe I'm watching, basketball or football, and I can like pump out a few sets in between there. Or like if, I have like 10 to 15 minutes of downtime, I just can pump some weights and feel better. So the goal is like, how do you make it easier for you to exercise, right? Like if there's barriers, try to remove those barriers. And for me, I've literally a bench sitting in my apartment complex. It gets in my way every time I walk. So it's constantly reminding me to exercise. So the first way to reduce stress was to get back on my exercise routine, right? Just